Hello world and welcome back to Volcanoblock, where last time we went through a lot of astral sorcery and a tiny bit of create. However, today I think we should actually crack on with a bit of the main story because after all our ultimate goal here is the All the Mod Star. So let's take a look at the quest. We are still in part 1. I know, I can't believe it, we're still in part 1, and for that we need to get down to here, RF automation. So we need to get ourselves some things here that I have never seen before. I feel like we can generate power in a different way, but these quests are going to need to be done to at least unlock part 2. So the first things we're going to need looks like to be a heckin' load of netherrack, some emerald mesh, then netherite mesh, and then we can move on. The first thing we're going to need are these stone barrels. And then when we simply put some lava inside of here, with a bit of redstone, we should get some netherrack. Wow, that's pretty instant. We also need some emerald mesh, which we luckily already have a lot of emeralds. Now, the real question is when we actually use this, are we going to get different things? Because this gives me all of this stuff. If I was to use an emerald mesh, are we going to get different things? No, the same things, luckily. Now, I've already got 64 emeralds, so let's see how many of these we can actually make. It looks like I can do all 9. Perfect. So now we need to sieve some crushed netherite inside a emerald mesh to get a 0.4% chance of netherite. This is going to be a grind. So I've gone and got half a stack of this crushed netherrack here. Let's see how bad my chances really are. I got 2 right off the bat. This may not be as bad as I thought. Hey, at long last we have 1 piece of netherite scrap. This took a heckin' long time. This 4% chance was really bad. But never mind, we have it now. So what we need to do is make some netherite brick. We're going to need ourselves a smithing table. And this is all the same. Do we have some gold? And with this, we are going to have ourselves... Let's do the center one after all. Center one does make the most sense. This one and this one. And we now have a netherite mesh. Only one of its kind. But one nevertheless. Hopefully we can get more later on, but I think before we actually end up doing a little bit more netherrack, I do want to automate the system. It took about 2.5 stacks then to get what I needed. Now that we've got ourselves a netherite mesh, we're going to be wanting to make some power, as it says here. We can either go RF tools, Generators Galore, which I've never heard of before, or mechanism. I think I'm going to go mechanism. Now it wants us to make a wind generator, but before we can make a wind generator, we're actually going to need some other things. If we go into basic power, we're actually first going to need this heat generator that we have here. Coal generator, is that mechanism? No, it's not. We're going to need this heat generator here. This way we're going to be able to actually use the lava that is around. However, as well as the heat generator, we're going to need some other items as well. Now, I've gone ahead and bookmarked all of these items, and since we're using the heat generator and this can actually burn fuel, I'm thinking we hopefully can just pump lava directly into it, since we, lava is a little bit abundant around here. However, first, I think I need to make ourselves a brand new platform. Now that that's done, let's get crafting. Now, this is interesting. I'm pressing how do I make, and I can't make it. According to online, this is how you make the heat generator. Apparently the heat generator is just not in this pack, despite the fact that it says that we can do it! Let's go with an iron generator instead. Now, despite the fact that I just made this, it hasn't given me the achievement. I guess it wants me to do transferring power first. I suppose we'll make these energy types first. There we go. That's a bit better. So we have our ability to make power. Let's make our first machine then, which is probably going to be this metallurgic infuser. Now I should be able to slap this right next door, and if we give this a little bit of power, this should start getting power, which it is. Wonderful. Now that we have the metallurgic infuser, how about we try and make the wind generator as soon as possible, really, because I don't want to be running off coal for long. So we're going to need this lovely infuser here, which takes a bit of redstone. So let's put 1 redstone in here and then 1 of these. Now, usually I would actually make the enrichment chamber first so we get more out of these items. However, I want to get wind power and off coal as soon as possible. So we have one of those. We got an achievement again. Wonderful stuff. Now we also need to get ourselves some conduit. For this, we're going to need to put osmium with redstone, which is perfectly fine. Is it 2? I believe it's going to be 2, isn't it? There we go. Perfect. That makes one of those. And then we need this. So for this, we're going to need 4 more redstone as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 of those in. And that should be all that we actually require to make all of this. We are going to need some more gold though. So starting off, we want to make 2 of these. 1, 2, these don't stack. No, they don't. And then we're going to need one of these. Wind power. Now wind power works with a little bit with height. The higher we go, the more power it's going to generate. However, for now, I'm going to be really, really lazy and just do this. Then I'm going to use my lovely pipes here and we're going to pipe that in just like that. We do need a wrench though, which we should actually have a wrench because we did it for the item pipes earlier on. Now that we have the metallurgic infuser, I think it is time that we actually do make the enrichment chamber. So this is going to need some steel. Steel is going to be a new item for us, and we need to actually first make steel dust, or there should be some steel blend. Oh, here you go. It's still steel dust, which is again in the metallurgic infuser. We just need enriched iron, which is iron. So basically it's going to be a whole load of coal and iron that we need to pump through this thing. Now we need, what's it, 4 in total? Yeah, only 4. Perfect. And with that we have steel, and I'm also making a little bit of glass because we need to now make this, which is perfect. And then we need to get a little bit more basic control circuits, which is obviously just osmium and redstone. Enrichment chamber is now ours. Now the last thing I actually want is the smeltery, because I want to get away from using coal as much as possible and use coal purely for industrial purposes. So for this we're going to need more steel and more of the rest of this other gubbins. So let's make this next. Now, if you don't know, when you enrich anything like coal or redstone, it's going to give you this enriched carbon for coal or enriched redstone for redstone. Now, what happens with this is that instead of this giving us 10, it's going to give us 80 carbon. Another one bites the dust. Now we're going to be able to smelt all our things up. No more coal for us. Coal is purely going to be in order to make us carbon related things. So I think first off it's probably worth getting all our osmium done and then all our iron and gold. Now I think we should make some of these pipes as well. This is going to need some steel, which is fine. So how about we actually put some coal into here, which we don't have. Now something else I want to do is mildly automate this. I'm going to make loads of this stuff up. Now I'm surprised. Oh, there you go. It gave us an achievement. We've gone ahead and made ourselves a second metallurgic infuser. The reason being, I want one to be purely carbon and one to be purely redstone. That way I can just make things on tap. Now the smeltery is going to be taking a little while, but for now what I want to do is this. I would like to have all sides off, but on the front we want that to be output and we want to auto push the output. That way in this chest I'm going to be able to get everything and everything I want. I did not mean to put that there though. So now I could literally just put a hopper on top of here, or in fact I can just do another chest, but I will put a hopper on top of here and then we can just start smelting all our items. And I thought, you might as well do this to everything. So how about we get ourselves a load of enrichment? Let's just get a full stack of this enriched. I mean, it doesn't hurt after all. And then we want this to be constantly making ourselves steel as well, and then it probably isn't a bad idea to have this start making industrial alloys as well. Now it would be in an ideal world good to get a second enrichment chamber as well, so I can do the redstone too, but for right now this is fine. What we may do however is get ourselves a second smeltery. Now we are running out of power now because we are doing so much stuff, so it's probably time we get a few more windies as well. Now it looks silly and it's very loud, but at least we've got power generation now. One thing I should probably make is a battery in between, but for right now, this is fine. How about we actually get on to getting to part 2. So first we need these 3 things. Now hopefully when I hit A, they all go in here, which they do. So we need the flux hammer first. First it needs this, and all this other crap. We can make all this very easily. I believe this can be any glass though. Yeah, that looks good. Item number 1. And we could actually use our lovely thing, flux hammer. Hooray! Right, now we need the sieve too, which requires any sieve. And then we need a flux compactor, which is going to require a little bit more stuff. We have our compactor. And for that, we get RF automation. I don't know how we're making RF, but never mind. We also get some stuff here. Tired of hamming and sieving items manually? Of course you are. Using the power you've created, we can automate all the resources using generation of flux machines. These can be upgraded as well to increase their processing speed. For more information, check JEI, which I believe is this gold upgrade. We also get a common reward of a torch. Great. Does this mean we have part 2 now? Or do we still need to make this RF tools power first? Not too sure. When do we get part 2? How about we actually figure out how these work then? I'm assuming the compactor is first. RE powered automatic compactor. Now this is either gonna put my, yes, it's gonna put my pieces together. That's what I thought would be the case. And the other thought I had is that it might be able to actually put our hammer, our cobblestone together, but never mind. So this is gonna be the end of our chain. Sieve is gonna be that, and then it's gonna be the hat. So for this is what we're gonna do first. I believe, does it just power itself? It's got a self hopper. I'm not too sure. Let's give it a test. Let's place this down first. It needs some power. Well, luckily we can get some power from over here. Just like that. So here we have power. Now inside of here, how does this work? If I put this in, is it just going to start working? Is it just going to start crafting? Work in progress. Okay, cool. And when this is finished, where does it go? It's crushed it. But where is it? And I can upgrade this. Upgrade count 1, 2, 3. Item processing 2, 4, 8. Don't know what this means. This is doing work. This isn't reducing things though. Missing inventory for output slot. So it needs to go into an inventory. Can you just go straight in like that? Do you take inventory straight away? Doesn't appear to be the case. What if we made ourselves a chest? Do you go in there straight away? No. Now it's got a little funnel at the front, so I'm only assuming that it may be at the front we have to put this. Machine is now working. Oh, okay, so it works like so. Can I put the sieve directly in front? Machine's now working, okay. And then the sieve is going to be sieving, but you need to go into a compactor. No? Where is the point for this one? Although first it needs power, doesn't it? Yes, flux stored. Although it's not saying it needs flux. Missing inventory on output side. I'm assuming the output side is probably the bottom. So let's change this one more time. We're going to want compactor and sieve. No, starting up. Needs energy. That's fine. Energy's fine. And then we'll have our hammer right here. Something like that. So if we put one of these in here, that goes through. This now requires a mesh. Ah, okay. Well, let's go get ourselves that netherite mesh. Because that is going to be the most efficient. And you've now worked. And you've gone into here. And you've made loads of bits. Now where does your bit go? I mean, if you're compacting, you should be able to go straight into this chest. Where would your output side be? Can I output directly with this? And can I use this wrench as well? No, I can't. Is your output side on the bottom as well? Because if it is, that's a little bit annoying. Very quickly, let's make a configurator. Is yours on the bottom? Starting up machine. You are acquiring out of energy. So your output is on the bottom. Why are you so annoying, game? In theory, this should be a system now. If we were to put a stack of cobblestone into here, you're getting power. Loads of power you store, actually. You break, you do one. That should go into here. I suppose it just finished at a right time. Yeah, it's finishing very, very quickly. Now this is turning into nothing because it hasn't actually made all the things. Okay, so if I was to put in a few more of these, can it do multiple at once? Can it even do full blocks? Well, it can't sift full blocks, so I suppose there's no point. But I'm assuming it can do all 9 slots at once. Let's have a look, see. Is all going to turn down to 63? No, it isn't. So that's just how much it can do. Okay. Well, how about we get ourselves this upgrade then? And we're going to want a few more of these upgrades, I imagine. I don't quite know how they work. Ex Mechanis. So So there's 3 different tiers. That's actually the lowest tier. Made pretty easily. We will upgrade these then eventually. But for right now, that's making that. That's sieving, which we can obviously put into there. Inventory is full. That's right here. Now the inventory is full because... can we filter this in any way? It's saying inventory is full, but it's still actually doing it. It's still going to craft the necessary ingredients. Have we actually made anything yet? No, we haven't. We're 1 off. There we go. 1 thing's just done. When we've got some uranium. So how do we optimize this? So out of netherite, we can get a lot more than 9 items. Is there a way to actually lock our squares? And the one problem here I'm seeing is that obviously for coal and for flint, we're going to need 9 in total. Now for amethyst shards, it looks like you can't compact that. You can into 4, but this isn't doing it. Interesting. I think we're going to have to do a secondary point then. Let's break this for now. And break this also. Now I've decided to change this round a bit. Of course, we are going to want to have our stuff being hammered, but then I'm thinking I've made this personal barrel here, which is basically a very large chest that we can access without the top being blocked off. From this, I think I'm actually going to want to take some resources. For this, we're going to need some new, we're going to need some barrels. Luckily, those barrels already exist over here. Now, I think I've got to a place where I think this is pretty good setup for very, very early game. As you can see here, these are all the things that we're not going to be able to compress unless there is a lot of it. Oh god, why? Right, that's the end of them. These are all the things that we will not be able to compress. Now, these are all being pumped out of our personal barrel here into a drawer controller or a storage controller on the back here, as you can see. So from this, we are going to need a second thing though. We are going to need to pull the rest of our items out of here. However, we are going to need a brand new thing, and this is going to be our logistical sorter. As you see here, the logistical sorter is very easy to make, and this is going to be able to filter exactly what we would like out. Now, we could have done this 1 or 2 ways, really. In fact, we could probably have 1 logistical transporter coming out of this to go to all locations. In fact, that's probably a better idea. But first, let's make the logistical transporter. Now, instead of me shifting all things by 1, I am going to be very, very lazy here. But essentially, we're going to have 2 different things. We're going to have another personal barrel, firstly. No, we're not. We are going to have another storage drawer here. And on this storage drawer, we're going to have our little compactor here. Now, some of you might be able to figure out what I'm doing here. What we have here is ourselves a logistical transporter on the back here, and we need to filter all of these items. Obviously, we have got 8 of these items already, so let's take 8 of these, and we will filter these into our logistical transporter. However, on the back, what I have here is the same line, but these are filtered in 2 ways. We have got green and we have got blue. Blue is going to be our first logistical transporter, so all we have to do is new filter. We're going to do item stack, we want coal, and we're going to have this on blue. This is going to have no round robin or anything, size mode doesn't matter. We'll just have everything there. So this just goes to blue. As you can see, this is going to pop everything straight into blue, and it's going to continue in there. In fact, something I can do just to make this even better is I can disconnect this here. That way it can all go in one way. And we're just going to do this for all our different items to begin with. So I'll do that first. And now all of those are being pumped into here, and they are going to all work flawlessly. If we have each of these type in here, that's just going to quickly splatter away and put these all in here. But now the next thing I need to put everything else into this over here. Now this is missing an inventory on the output side, so I suppose it can't automatically push into a storage drawer, which is a little bit annoying. So let's put ourselves another personal barrel. There you go. Now this is now working. Now from here we are going to have to pipe this, but that's fine. We've got 1 pipe remaining, and we're just going to pipe this straight like that. Now we are going to pull. This doesn't need to be a color. Not that it really matters. And then we're going to need a load more chests. Now these chests or loads more drawers. These drawers are actually going to be all of these. So I need to put all these into that personal chest, which is going to be a bit of a grind, but we will do that right now. Now we are going to do it with platinum first. So what we need to do is put platinum on green. So we'll go new filter, not tag, we'll put a new filter, item stack, and then we'll have this on green and save. and now all the platinum is going to get pumped out into here. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but eventually it will get there. Luckily it does it in pretty much full stacks. Now this is going to automatically compress, as you can see. Now I need to actually set a thing, so we'll set that now to platinum, and when with the linking tool we'll now link this one to here. So now any platinum that is made should be pulled out of here, except it's not. Oh, that's because I haven't actually added it yet. I need to add this to add. There we go. Swap it to single mode though. There we go. Now that is actually joined together and platinum is being made. So we have to do this one at a time. We're going to reuse those storage benches and we're going to have a big wall here. So before continuing, I did have to upgrade this to a diamond, which means I had to make 3 more of these gold, which means I had to make grey cyan, which means I had to make terracotta, which means I had to just basically wash sand to get clay. It was a big pain. But now that I've actually done this upgrade, this is actually going through very, very quickly and using up everything very nicely. So I'm actually going to be able to catch up here now. So inside of here, we're going to have zinc. Lovely. Zinc's going to go there. Now that is a semi-finished system. I've nearly gone and processed all the things. It's just doing silver now and then it's backing up on the rest. But this isn't a final form, as in we need to still do this for sand and dust. So I've got to do this 2 times over. As well as that, we don't actually have a way of auto generating cobblestone over here, so I need to get cobblestone over here, and then I'm going to need some of these where it's going to be hammering it twice to make sand, and then hammering it 3 times to make dust. So we're still a little bit of ways away, but I think that is something that I can be doing off camera between episodes. So for now, that is going to be the end of today's episode. We managed to do quite a lot. We got mechanism up and running, we managed to get a bit of power, and we have got ourselves some auto resources. So this is going to be very, very nice for us for the future. When it comes to the quest book, however, we still don't have part 2, so hopefully when I am doing the rest of this, I can figure out how part 2 comes along. I'm very much hoping that we don't have to go to the end before part 2 actually happens, but if we do, that is what it is. But guys, if you did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and ring the bell button to stay notified when these videos go live. And if you haven't already, and if you didn't know, we have a Discord. Join the Discord, also linked down in the description. But until next time guys, take care.